on tonight. Tonight we're going to revisit and kind of go back a little bit and start kind of fresh from the top, because we've been kind of compounding on some things. So I want to catch everyone up that hasn't been able to do that before. And so we're going to be going back to the Sharice strategy, as I'm going to, and then we'll be laying it out over the next few weeks here. And of course, on our nights of trading on Thursdays, we'll be doing the live stuff. But on the Tuesday nights, we're going to be laying out some just, foundational things that we've done before, just kind of catch all of our new faces, the new traders up to speed and kind of get a little bit more in depth. So tonight we're going to talk about the Sharice strategy and how to use that, how effective you can be with that particular strategy. And I hope you guys are ready. Take some pen and paper available, and that you're able to grab some notes so that you can absolutely do that, and you'll be able to get the information working. So with that being said, I am going to do our housekeeping rules, or whatever you want to call it, just for organizational purposes. I'm going to share my screen here. And as always, this is not a substitute for the Academy. Please, 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 I stress it so much that you go and keep after your Academy. The Academy is where it's at. This is how I've been able to be successful. And I still use the Academy. The Academy is where it's at, folks. So we are doing this as a basic overview. These things can be used at your own discretion as they are understood. Understand that this is not a substitute, but it is an added deal, and it also brings you to a place where you can pull, it'll basically help your learning curve, I would say that. Now, please hold all questions until there's given an opportunity to ask those questions, so we can keep on pace. Please take plenty of notes, and if you use this tool, you can be successful at trading just like I am and everyone else that is being successful at a greater level. Listen, the thing is, there is no guarantees on profits. You only can profit the best way you can from what you are applying. So that's because it's on you and how the market's working. So there are no guarantees here. Those silly questions are stupid questions. And again, refer to number 4. Please, by all means, ask questions. So tonight, we're going to go and jump back into the Sharice strategy and kind of build onto that to our own BYOB strategy that we have. And so I wanted to bring that back for you guys. And as you can see, I have my Eat, Sleep, Trade, Repeat. I got my white one on tonight with my lovely IML hats. Get you some stuff. It does help get your conversation. So there is a question out here. And who has a question before we get cracking in here? I heard that someone has a question.
I don't, Isaac. This is Curlia. I couldn't hear at first.
Oh, okay.
But I was able to make it work.
Oh, look at you. You're making it work. So you're there. Yeah. We got you. All right. So,
okay.
All right. Cool. No problem. Well, for those of you that didn't get an opportunity to hang with us on Sunday, I was there in Orlando, my lovely wife and I, Cece and her wonderful, bubbly attitude and the accents, and we had a great time. So I will see you guys again sometime soon. But with that being said, let's get into the Sharice strategy. I want to get into this one. This is a really cool one. This is where I made a lot of my money there out the gate with this one, besides our strategies that I've been sharing with you all. But I do want to, before I get started, I do want to say something to you about the swipe trades and how you can take advantage of them. The swipe trades is a really cool way to take advantage of money as you're still learning. And what I'm suggesting to you, and this is something that is not necessarily taught in the IML Academy, they give us, those swipe trades are given to you to, and they have like, some of the profit points are 50 pips or 25 pips away from the initial deal. I'm encouraging you just so that you can start winning on some of those trades if, depending on, because sometimes you have to wait for those, a whole day for it to get to that point. It's nothing wrong with you putting it in for 10 pips and you do a couple of them at 10 pips or whatever, or 5 pips or whatever the case may be. And just grab a couple, get a little bit there. Keep the stop loss at what they did, but, the take profit. Create your own take profit. Just, kind of put like 5 or 10 pips, maybe 7 or, 20 pips, and grab those while you can, because sometimes those fluctuate back and forth as you're waiting for it to get to that actual long-term deal. So that's just another little tip that you guys can use at that, and it really will pay off for you. Pretty cool. So hopefully, is everybody got that type of 1-1-1? If you hear what I'm saying, I'm telling you, that's another way to grab some quick money out there on the markets. So if you can type in the chat 1-1-1, everybody cool with that? All right, cool. We got you, guys. So, all right, let's go. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to talk about this Sharif strategy. And I am on our wonderful I am on our lovely IML web analyzer. This is a great tool to use, and this is the way that you can do it. So let's talk about the Sharif strategy. Number 1, what you want to write down on the Sharif strategy. This is a scalp type of strategy, and I'm going to specifically break these down between our strategies so that we have our own strategy that's a BYOB strategy, which is a spinoff of this one, but I'm going to break down this one, and then we're going to do that one next week, but I'm going to talk about this one tonight. So the Sharif strategy, this is how this one works. Number 1, it is a scalping strategy, so this is nothing long-term, very simple. You are eyeballing the 15-minute chart. It's that simple. 15-minute chart. Make sure you write that down. It's always on the 15-minute chart, because if you're on the wrong chart, you can enter wrong trades. I've done it. Happens to everybody. It's okay, but it does happen. So 15-minute chart. Okay? Next thing that you need to know is we are looking for the relative strength index, which would be our RSI. And as you can see, our RSI here is set up with a 7 close. That's what you want as far as your setup. So if you're looking at your settings for your RSI, you want the length to be 7 and you want it to be closed on the source, just like it is shown here. We are looking for 2 different numbers for what we're trying to accomplish. So, for example, if we are looking for a sell, we're looking for this wonderful line. Let me find one for you and see if I can. There we go. All right. Let me move this down. Give me a second. It's dragging a little bit on me. Come on. Uh-oh. This thing closed my RSI out. Sorry. It's something funky today. Give me 1 second here. Why did this thing close on me? That is very odd. That normally doesn't do that thing. Oh, I thought it closed my RSI just that quick. And now it's bringing up all this other stuff. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. But the first thing is while I'm getting this, the RSI to come back up, because this thing is giving me a little headache here, is that you want to be looking for the number. If you're looking for a sell, you want that number to be above the number of 70. You want that number above 70. I Okay. And if you're looking for a buy, you want that number to be below 30 on the RSI. That's what we're looking for on the on this strategy. So the way that works is you want for a buy to be under 30 and for a sell to be under 70. I mean over 70, excuse me. That way what happens is you are in an ideal time for a sell or a buy. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I was waiting on this to pop back up the right way. All right. So here we go. I'm going to draw some lines here as I've shown you guys to, you know, drawing trend lines or horizontal lines or whatever the case may be. These give you just indications of things so that you can kind of see where things are. So let's talk about this really quickly. Is there any questions before I move, as I'm drawing these lines? Is there any questions before I go too far? Everybody good? All right. So, man, this thing is not doing the way I wanted to do tonight, I'll tell you. Yeah, extra. All right. So, what do we want? We're looking for a sell. This is an opportunity right here. I was trying to increase this just a bit to kind of give us an idea of this, on how this would look. So this was at 94 or whatever, 1.5. It's at 94, basically. Don't worry about the other numbers. Ideal time for a sell. This was probably, I believe this was right at the change of the market. So you'd have probably been, obviously it's going to be a buy down at this particular point or sell down to this point. So it's above 70. 70s are marked. We're looking for that. You're on the 15-minute chart for this, for that to happen. So this gives you a great indication. Okay, this is going to be a prime deal for sell. This is going to push down here, but this is up here is where we're looking at for this to be. We're going to be looking at the candlesticks. Up here, of course, our green candlestick is for buy, red candlesticks for sell. Easy peasy, simple deal. So if you'd have gotten into this trade, so this was up at about 94 at that particular point. If you were to have gotten into this trade up here, let's just throw this in. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to move up there. So had you thrown a trade in right there, and it's not as accurate as I want it to be, but that's fine. And exited, you could have gotten 10 pips. And it's a little smaller than I wanted. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get this to move down. Give me 1 second. Move down. Thank you. All right. So 10 pips would have been right about here. You would have gotten that in just about 30 minutes. So 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So if you entered your trade there in about, because each candlestick represents 15 minutes. So You could have gotten 10 pips easily, just that quick, within 30 minutes. And depending on your lot size, you would be in a good situation. So the reason I want to get into this one is because you've got to watch the trending on this. So usually when you see this indication of where it's going to be, it usually takes a little time for this to actually go back in this direction. But as you can see, like I showed you here, if you wanted to get this and you started here, this would have taken you really in one candlestick, actually. This was one candlestick. And just that quick, you were able to get that. And I think that's what is really cool about this is you can make a lot of money on these scalping tools. And this is not getting bigger like I want it. You can make a lot of money really quickly on this because from here to here is 15 minutes. 15 minutes, 10 pips, very quick. And I measure everything in pips and not dollars. And there's a reason why I do that. And the reason why I do that is because if you get caught up in dollars, you're going to be chasing after the dollar versus knowing where your pips are. It's going to be really hard to do that. I mean, you can get to that point, but I don't suggest it. So anybody have any questions while we're looking at this? How to look at the chart? How does that work for you when it comes to that? If you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. And I'll go back and start over and just kind of catch you guys up to what we're doing with the Sharif strategy. Anybody have any questions? Swipe trade alert, by the way. Here's a good opportunity for you to, if you get swipe trades, is a good one. A sell limit just came in. Like I said, 10 pips. You don't even have to go too heavy on what they have in there as a profit, but you can do 10 or 20 pips, and there's a way to do that. Any questions about how this works and how to look at the chart, what you're looking for as far as the indicators, anything? I know we've kind of gotten a lot of advanced stuff, but I know we've got some new traders, and I want to make sure that everyone is able to take advantage of this before I get to that next strategy. Any questions, anybody? If not, I can move on, and we'll kind of do a little modification here. And I'll show you.
Okay, let's see.
I'm sorry. I hear somebody.
It's me, Isaac. It's Curlia.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm still a little bit confused, and maybe I need to learn the candlesticks. You're saying the green candle is for the buy, right?
That's correct.
The red is for the sell.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm looking at these candles. Can you walk me through how I would know if this is a good trade to get in? What I'm looking at now with the three red candlesticks.
Absolutely.
So that's a sell.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'll walk you through this so you can have an understanding of what this looks like and how this works. Sorry, I'm waiting. I'm trying to increase the size here. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. So drag this down, and I'm going to show you why this is a great situation. So the thing about this strategy that makes it really simple, it's like I said, it's 2 steps. We're making sure that the RSI, which is our relative strength index, is above 70. We've crossed that threshold, so we're good. So at this point, we know that if you're above 70, we're looking for a sell, which would obviously be red candlesticks. So this is where that point of indications shows that we're going to be going back in that direction. Once it gets too high, there's too many people that's buying this on the market. It's got to come back down. It's almost, almost like Newton's law of gravity. What goes up must come down. I mean, it's just, So anyway, so the way this works here is you're seeing this candlestick be created. Obviously, like I said, this number has gotten so high, it's bound to come back down. So the next candlestick, when it was created, had you gotten into this trade around this point, you could have entered in for 10 pips. And the way you count that, of course, like I gave this as an entry point. So 142.615.
Okay.
10 pips from that is you would subtract subtract 10 from 61. You don't worry about the 5 because that's the pipette. You just worry about 2 digits, and then that gives you 51.
Okay.
That's where we get this number. So basically, you would enter a cell here. You would enter your take profit as this number here with the 51, the 142.515, which will be in your MetaTrader 4. You can set your stop loss at whatever you desire or your risk that you desire. I'm usually 20 pips most of the time, on 15 to 20 pips, depends on how large I'm going on a leverage. And you set that, and then that's all you do. You set it, and then you wait for it to go to that point.
Okay, gotcha.
So just understand that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're setting your stop loss in between your price and your take profit?
No, your stop loss would be up here. So your stop loss will be above where you entered. So this is the entry point.
I get it.
Your stop loss in this case would be above where you entered, because if it was to start to go in this direction, you set the parameters on how far you're comfortable with it to go, that you're willing to. Basically, the best way to put it, and there's no nice way to put it, whatever you're willing to lose on a trade, that's truly what risk is. Whatever you're willing to lose on a trade, you set that mark, however high or low it is. And you do want a certain parameter. I suggest no less than 10 pips, because you will get blown out of a trade very easily. Like if you look right here, this was at 6 pips above where you started, the starting point. Well, if you were 5 pips behind, you were going to blow out of that trade, and you would have lost the trade, because you got to give room for fluctuation. So I don't suggest doing any, 10 to 15, 20. Like I said, it depends on your leverage, but I don't do anything less than 15 to 20 pips. Where I'm at. But like I said, the risk is based upon what you are comfortable with. That's your own discretion. That's just where I'm at with a happy medium. I'm also suggesting, from what I've seen, is nothing less than 10 pips, because otherwise you'll get blown out of a trade. And sometimes even 10 pips will get blown out of a trade depending on the situation. That's why it's very important to know when to enter, so that you're not getting blown out of your trades too early. So does that kind of answer your question on how to look at it as far as the candlesticks? Corlia, does that work for you? Did I lose you? Uh-oh. I think her connection went out.
Can you hear me, Isaac?
Yes, I can. Okay.
Great. I heard everything. I had to connect from a different device.
No problem.
So if this was a buy, right, my stop loss would have been underneath my take profit.
Correct.
Okay.
So in this situation, this is a sell. So your stop loss will be up here. If you were in a buy, and this was your entry point, and this was your take profit, the stop loss would have been down here.
Okay, got it.
So
that makes a lot of sense.
So in a stop loss, just remember that your entry point, your take profits above, if it's or your stop loss is above your entry point.
Okay.
On a buy, your stop loss is below your entry point. That's an easy way to kind of remember it.
Okay. I think I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Gerald, you were adding something, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to also add to understanding the take profit and the stop loss, but in this particular strategy, the Cherie strategy, the first thing that we all want to make sure that we wrap our minds around is the RSI is going to give us the indicator of whether we're going to go into that particular currency pair as a sell or a buy. And always remember, when it's a sell, that stop loss profit, the stop loss is always going to be above the entry point. And if it's a buy, it's going to be below. And the first thing that we want to identify and look at is if that RSI is above 70, then that's the first thing we know it's going to be a sell. That's the first thing we look at. And if it's below a 30, then we know that position on that particular currency is going to be a buy. And then as we look at the chart, then we can also do those additional confirmations to ensure that we're actually positioning ourselves in that particular trade properly.
Absolutely. And I totally agree. I agree with that. The one thing that you want to do too is, like, I don't enter a trade. If it's right at 70, I don't enter it. I'm real big on 72 and above.
Okay.
Those have been the most successful.
Okay.
If it's not 72 or above, I'm not touching it.
Okay.
So that's a big deal. And vice versa. So when it's 30, I don't even touch it for a buy. I'm like 28 and below.
Okay.
So did you have
This
any
is
other
becoming
questions?
more clear. Thank you guys so much. This is very helpful.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else with a question, or you have any more questions, Corlia?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else have any questions? All right. So I'm going to push this to the next thing. I'm going to go and deal with our BYOB strategy because they kind of mirror each other with this one. And I'm going to move on to that one so that we can do that. And I can put that all in here tonight with you guys, since everyone is understanding this. And our BYOB strategy is the Cherie strategy, but it's modified. It is a modified Cherie strategy. So let me, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment so I can open up my other deal here. And get you guys moving. All right, so this is what we're looking for. Same thing. Let me share my screen again here. Give me 1 second. And Tasha has said that she loves BYOB. So I don't know if I could say I'm the person that created that or whatever, but it's kind of what I discovered after doing this particular deal for quite some time. So let me add this indicator. Get out of here. Let me add the RSI on the screen. And this is pretty cool. So the way this works for this deal is that when you're dealing with the RSI or adding and dealing with the Cherie strategy, it's the BYOB strategy is the exact same thing. So the BYOB basically is you're looking for, it's really simple. Same thing, same concept. We're looking for these numbers to match. But the difference is with this strategy. So it's exactly the same notes, but you're going to add a little bit to it. So this is where I challenge you all to go back to your IML Academy and look at and study, or especially watch the video on analyzation of the charts, because this is very, very important. Being able to look at these charts and see what's happening with these is going to make a big difference, okay? So with that being said, this is the same as the Cherie strategy, but modified. Not only are we looking for this to be above 70 or below 30, whatever the case may be, right? We're also looking for, and we're going to change it to the 5-minute chart for confirmation. So you've gotten this indication right here. And this is, I'm looking at the time, 17:45 was the time. You got this indication, this relative index right here was at 92. This is the same one well, not the same pairing, but this is kind of similar to the deal here we were looking at. And I was trading this pair earlier, but you're looking at this and this was, whoo, man, it's right up here. So the 15-minute chart, you're getting all the indications. So same thing at that point. Really, we would have to go back here to, I don't know if it's going to give me the time to do it. Sometimes it works. It's kind of hard because the charts are live. But basically, you're going to go to the 5-minute chart and do the exact same thing. So you're going to get on the 5-minute chart, but the difference is on the 5-minute chart, for every one candle on a 15-minute chart, this is the 15-minute chart, for every one candle, there's 3 that's created on the 5-minute chart. Why are we looking at the 5-minute chart? We're looking at the 5-minute chart for confirmation. Here's why. Sometimes they are those, you'll see that this is a strong trade, but the trend is still happening. So for example, right here, you're seeing that this, let's say we can see this above here, and it is usually going to show on the 15-minute chart as well. But let's just say this uptrend is happening. And I mean, it's just going up and up and up and up and up. It's still happening over the next 15 minutes. Well, you don't want to enter that trade right then. You want to wait till it gets to its peak and then starts to go down. So with that being said, the way we would look at this is we're looking for confirmation. We're looking at the trend, seeing where that trend is going. So if it's going up and it's into a buy and we're looking for that sell because it's above the 70, we're waiting for that to hit a certain point, waiting for it to hit that point. Now, now what is really cool about this is where your understanding of sell limit, sell stop, buy limit, and buy stop is really going to help you. And I hope that's not freaking you out about the about the terms, but this is where your sell stop, your sell limit, your buy stop, and your buy limit comes in handy. Here's why. And I know I was doing this pair earlier. I entered this pair here earlier for I believe it was a sell or whatever the case may be. I can't remember. I don't know if it was this pair or what time it was earlier when I was actually into this one. But nevertheless, here I am. I was there. I got into the trade, but I put a sell limit. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry. I did a buy. I was going to buy on this one, excuse me. So I did a buy limit on this particular pair earlier. And this was my entry point and my take profit point. So what did I do? I know that I was waiting for a certain point. So I put a buy limit. This was my entry. So I created a buy limit that said, this is the number I want to enter on. And I know it's going to rise to this point. So I'm going to put that number there. So that's what I want. I want to get to this point, this profit point. It took me all of probably 15 minutes, not even. Now this one is on the 5-minute chart. Same. Oh, I didn't mean to move that. Same thing you want to do here. So I'm going to draw a line and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So where is the line? Really? Sorry. There we go. Sorry, I can barely see that. All right, so I entered the trade. This trade was entered probably around this here. And as you can see, it didn't take very long at all. Probably got out. So entered the trade here, 5, 10, 15. Really, on this candlestick here. So five, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 10 pips. Very easy, very simple, not hard to do. So, same thing we're here on the BYOB. We're using the same RSI as an indicator. We're using the same thing as the Cherie strategy. So the way this was working, again, we're using this the same way. Once we get that indicator, the difference is we're going to the 5-minute chart and we're looking at this trend because we're wanting to see where that trend is going in the direction of what we're wanting. This was for buy. I saw that. I think I actually used the yum strategy on this one, so I apologize. But it's the same concept. I waited for the pullback, so I was looking for a certain thing. But this is how a sell limit or buy limit and all those things work well for you. Gerald, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, and just folks, I am so excited about, being able to share this information with you guys this evening. Maybe a month ago, we shared with you the Easy RSI, that app that literally this is how we've been able to really maximize this particular strategy, because that Easy RSI app gives it alerts your phone. So even prior to you going to the chart, it'll let you know which currency pairs are going into that zone, whether it's going to be a buy or sell.
Yes.
And then the other comforting thing about this particular strategy, the BYOB strategy, is also, too, it doesn't necessarily require you to actually watch it, because as Isaac indicated, based on the Cherie strategy, that buy point is at 70. But we know, based on our trading experience, we're not really comfortable in getting into that trade until it gets to that 72 or that 28. So one of the benefits of understanding the buy stop, the sell stop, sell limit, or the buy limit is simply this. And the true enhancement of the BYOB, once you get that indicator of 70, what you can do is go ahead and put that buy stop in. if it's a buy, or you could put a sell stop in if it's a stop, if it's a sell. And you could just simply add anywhere from 1 to 3 pips as an entry point, and then put the buy stop in, and then you could actually go about your day. And that's the real, true, unique portion of the BYOB. Understanding that we recommend that you don't really get into that sell until it's at the 72 or 28. So adding that additional 1 to 3 pips as an entry point once you get that indicator. And then for those of you sleeping tonight and you really haven't, conditioned yourself to take advantage of the London session, this is how you can go ahead and do your analyzation. So literally while you're sleeping, this now allows you to make money. And this is really what happened to me. I was putting these trades in at night when I would be waking up before 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I was getting the benefit of that. So I just wanted to kind of add that in addition to that, why it's important to take advantage of this strategy as well.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. This is how this strategy has benefited. We've benefited from this strategy is by the understanding of the buy limit, the sell limit. Those deals make a difference. It is really, really do. So the Easy RSI app, download it on your phone. It is a very simple app to use. It is free. You don't have to pay for the premium to take advantage of it. But the Easy RSI app, the way that works, and even for me, I set it up for 72 and 28. So mine doesn't even go off until 72 or 28 happens. And so you can set up what pairs you want to, that you specifically are watching, and you can look at that. It is the greatest thing. Listen, you don't have to be sitting at, I promise you guys, I don't sit at the charts all day, every day. I don't have time to do that. Nobody does, unless you just have time to blow. But when you have this particular app, it helps you. It does the work for you. It's called Easy RSI. Download it. It's in your app store, whether you have Google or an iPhone, Android or an iPhone. It is I'm telling you, this is the game changer. But if you are having if you're having troubles with understanding a sell stop, a sell limit or buy limit or sell stop and buy stop, go back and watch those videos in the Academy. And on top of that, listen, screenshot. I think I posted some pictures back in the group some time ago, but I'll repost them tonight. Matter of fact, I'll do that right now of the 4 pictures of what they look at. And listen, it is straight up free money. That's exactly what it is. I'm telling you. You talking about grabbing pips out of nowhere. Listen, we got other strategies and we're going to keep going through these. But I'm telling you, this is the easiest way to grab some pips is when you got this RSI and you're able to grab pips just because you've gotten indications that have come in and just like giving you the information. So let me, I'm going to throw this in here. Is there any questions on the charts tonight? If you're watching, and since we weren't really doing live, but if you're watching this right now, we may be getting set up for the Euro JPY. We may be getting set up for a possible. There might be a yum strategy. We'll see what happens if it hits. But just let you know that way you can look at your chart. I got these nice pictures of these the Easy RSI. Not the Easy RSI, but the buy limit, sell limit. It's got the definition on it. They're really nice. Save them in your phone. I'm putting them in the group right now, our private group on our BYOB group. Save these in your phone. use it. Listen, I still use it sometimes. So it's really important. So question, anybody?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who am I
Hi,
speaking to?
it's Jamila. How are you?
I'm doing good, Jamila. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. This is so wonderful. I just downloaded the app on my phone.
Yes.
So the Easy RSI, and in parentheses it has 7 momentum oscillator for Forex. Is that the one?
Let's see here. Let me pull mine up because I haven't set it up in a while.
Yes.
That's the one with the red background. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is it any way that I can also download it on my desktop? Do you know?
You know what? I'm not certain. I actually, when I found it on, actually I was in another Forex group and I found out about it. So I am not honestly sure about that on the desktop. You might be able to go to the website. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay. Okay. Great.
But
Thank you.
it's definitely an app for your phone that if you're
Yeah.
you're out and about, you're at work or whatever, until you get the indicator, you don't even have to worry about looking at a chart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. This is phenomenal. Wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Bird. I appreciate it.
No problem. Any other questions from anyone here? Got a few more minutes before we turn this call over to Dr. Blythewood because it's going to be awesome. And you can definitely touch base with him on some things if you really want to get really, really deep in it. But anybody have any other questions regarding this, what we got going on tonight? Because I really, like I said, I want to see you guys like really, really, really getting this here so that we can all grab these tips. This is free money, people. It is there. It's right there waiting on us. So, anybody else have a question?
Isaac,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any questions, but for some reason tonight, I'm so excited. I am getting it.
Well, that's awesome. That's the whole point of it.
Yes, I'm getting it. Thank you so much. You do a really, really good job with making this easy for us, and I appreciate you.
Hey, my pleasure. Cece, you had to do your shout for her, you know. Cece has to do a shout for you, you know.
I'm over here shouting and dancing.
Yes, I'm so excited.
That's awesome. That's the whole point. This is why we've been doing this, is because, you know, it does take sometimes a little bit, you know, just going back and look at the videos, going back and doing a few things, but this is the whole purpose. So I'm glad you're getting it, you know, and like I said, test it out and keep testing it on your demo account till you get comfortable. You know, try something small on your live account while you're in your demo account. You know, that's how I got to the point where I could, you know, look at hundreds of dollars going in, you know, into the market, and it doesn't faze me at this point because I started off small. So you don't have to worry about getting to a certain, you'll get there, you know, but definitely I'm glad to hear that you're getting it and now it's getting there. So I'm excited.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Any questions, concerns, testimonies? Gerald, do you want to add anything?
I love the BYOB.
Oh, Tasha, yeah, I know you love the BYOB. I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment because I'm going to enter a trade. And I can't let y'all see everything.
Nah, share these pics. No, I'm just playing.
Now I got to go and do some stuff before I share the pips. Any questions? Anyone? Any questions? I don't want to leave without having a question answered.
You have one in the chat.
Okay, let's see here. What trades are live now? So we are in the Asian session. So what you would want to do is you would want to be on any pair that is against the Japanese yen. I wouldn't suggest the US dollar against the Japanese yen, and the reason why would be because that pair isn't really going to be moving very much because the New York session is not open. But I would suggest anything that's against the Japanese yen, you can look at that. Those are, and also any Australian dollar, because the London session and the Australian session, they work together. They're in the same time. So that one I would give you guys. So that would be my attitude right now for you on that, and that's the route that I would go. So does that answer your question, Jamal? Hopefully that answers your question. Awesome. So study those. If you're having questions about markets and what's open at the current time, the easy way to do that, we have a website called Baby Pips that you can get some information from. It's a great way or a great tool to use that gives you what market, what's open right now, and that way you know what to trade. So that's a good, it's babypips.com. So that's a good place to look at for anybody that's trying to find out what is a good time, what is a good thing to trade right now, or whatever the case may be, because that does happen. So that you guys know that. Any other questions from anyone before we turn this call over to Dr. Blythewood? I want to make sure I have all questions answered, all concerns, anything, anybody. Anybody? Anybody? No questions? Concerns? Gerald, did you want to add anything, sir? Before I move to the next.
Hey, it's free money. You got a license to print money to become your own bank. Just stay dialed into that academy. And then for those of you who have just had the opportunity to come aboard, you start out with basics 1 through 4 in technical analysis, but you want to quickly, as soon as possible, navigate the remainder of those modules so that you can, over the next 60 days, some of you that are now absorbing this information, we're going to have the opportunity to turn this call over to you, and you're going to be teaching the next wave of people that's coming aboard. So stay plugged into the academy.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions for tonight, listen, check our BYOB group. I posted the pictures. Tasha, thank you for posting the Easy RSI picture in there for everyone to download. But I posted the pictures for the buy limit, sell stop, all those different pictures. Download them. Those are some nice pictures, and it tells you exactly what it means. And take advantage of that. So with that being said, thank you guys again for tuning in on Thursday. We'll be on the markets live. Be ready to and listen. Between now and Thursday, this is a great between Tuesday and Thursday are great days for trading. By all means, jump on there and grab what you can grab that's out there right now on the market. Please, by all means, do that. And let me tell you, we are all going to eat together, and that is what this is all about. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this over, and I will see you guys on Thursday, and I hope you're going to be ready and be excited to trade on Thursday night. It's going to be fun. It's going to be pips grabbed out of there. We're going to try to, throw it in there. Maybe we'll try to set a goal, and I'll think about a goal to set for the night of trading and see what happens. Because last week we made 24.1 trade pips on the trades, and you saw the profit was about $460 something. Can't really beat that in just about 30 minutes or an hour of trading. So that's some people's, whole checks, or, so we can do that. Pips are there. So be there and grab the pips, all right? Without further ado, I'm going to turn this call back over to our host tonight. I think it was Mr. Gerald was our host tonight. I'm not sure if Tasha's going to take it over from here, but one of you guys is going to take it over. And we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. I'll see you on Thursday.
Awesome. I got it. So thank you so much.